what's up? Jyles here from Jyles FBA, and today we're having on Adam again. He is staff in Jyles FBA. We're going to be recapping his quarter 4 of Amazon and some of his other hustles, maybe. So welcome back, Adam. We had him on 2-3 months ago, maybe 4. A few months ago. Yeah, one of the first people to come on. He does this full time. He hustles Amazon cards, right? You still do this full time? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I got my hands in a bunch of things, but yeah,
Right.
I'm transitioning to do this as much as possible. Thanks for having me back. It's always good to chat with you guys. So.
For sure. So, first off, how was your Q4? Overall, did you do better, worse than you expected? What were the pros? What were the cons? All that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously everyone talks about like Q4 is like the pinnacle of Amazon and you got to gear up for that. So, I did my best to kind of gear up and, definitely met my expectations in a lot of ways and exceeded in some ways and, fell short in some ways also. I mean, like you can't really compare until you go through it. I had previously done almost, I would say exclusively FBA, and I transitioned to do maybe 50-50 FBA, FBM. I don't know, maybe not quite 50-50, but maybe more like 25% FBM, 30%, something like that, just to take advantage of, quicker shipping times and whatnot. And, people who want their presents, like next day and stuff like that. So it was definitely, it was definitely a wild ride, and I probably made, let's look back at the numbers, but I don't want to say probably, I definitely made more profit the last quarter than I did all year combined.
Right. Yes. I'd say that's pretty common with OA/RA sellers across the board. Basically, I mean, double, triple, quadruple your profit from October to December, just due to the mass sales. First off, all these retailers are having all these clearance sales: buy one get one, buy two get one, buy one get one 50% off, marked down 60%, 70%. They're having all these sales, so that obviously helps with sourcing. It's not as dry when you're reverse sourcing, manual sourcing, going in stores, scanning, seller app, all that good stuff. So that's a big part of it for me. It's easier to create those bigger margins of 25, 30, 45% ROI rather than maybe here at Q1, it's tougher to find leads. Maybe you have to take your expectations down from 35% to 25% ROI, maybe a little slower moving listings, all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, so going into or let's get into kind of some of the brands you sold. Was it kind of the stuff you were selling year round, or did you kind of transition into more Q4 type of products? Yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of similar brands. I definitely went heavier on like the toys, more giftable items. Right, I do a lot of Lego, and so I went a little heavier on some Lego. For that point at that time, I did a lot of like PlayStation games and stuff like that, but I went a little too heavy on some of those. It seemed a lot of people jumped on that as well. I would say one of the things that sort of surprised me was there was almost like a drop in sales, like once like mid-December hit, that I wasn't necessarily expecting or wasn't prepared for. And so that sort of caught me off guard a little bit. But as far as the brands, like I said, I did a lot of Lego, a lot of toys type stuff. A lot of like giftable beauty sets were really flying, like seasonal type giftable beauty sets, advent calendar themed, in toys and in beauties. And so that really paid off. And those I was really, for the most part, FBMing all that, because you could pick up in store or have it delivered pretty quickly from various retailers, and then like next day shipping them out. And they were just flying.
Right.
Yeah, I know I paid like $5 for delivery from store, and I sold them same day and not the next morning.
Right.
Pretty sure I made like quadruple the amount in shipping costs alone that it cost me to have them delivered right to my doorstep. So another perk of those, actually your shipping template was, I think the one that that most of Jyles FBA copied and absolutely ate off of. So we appreciate that.
For sure.
You know, I just kind of trial and errored on that, and it seemed to work. I got burned on a couple shipping charges early, and then modified it, and it definitely worked out. I mean, I was going to the post office and UPS like every day, and my Jeep was full, like the whole trunk was full of boxes, and I wasn't shipping anything big. I mean, these were, you know, small, like 8x8x8 size boxes, and they were just packed. I mean, I was taking 40, 50, 60, 70 boxes, and I know that's not even, I know people do way more than that, but it was just like nonstop, like, you know, 50 plus items a day, just back and forth to the post office.
Right. You mentioned Legos. You're kind of like the Jyles FBA guy, I guess, when like Lego stuff drops, whether it's like, oh, buy X, Y, and Z on Lego.com and you'll get 2 free like giftable sets off Lego.
Right.
Can you kind of dive more into Lego investing or Lego flipping as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do more of the investing as opposed to the flipping. Definitely during Q4, I did some flipping just because there was so many sets that were, you know, heavily discounted and there was the demand for it. But Lego investing it's almost like loss proof. I mean, just because of the way the Lego cycles work. And so there's retirement dates on Legos, and let's say it retires December of 2023. So that just passed. So if you're buying those sets, you buy them at the right price, you watch the sales, and you just got to hold them for 6 months, 12 months, maybe 18 or 24 months, depending on the velocity of the set and the theme. And, you know, let's say it's like a Spider-Man theme set. If you time it to where the next Spider-Man movie is coming out, for example, obviously there's going to be more attention on it. Or Star Wars, same type of thing. Sometimes you don't need to time it. It's just based on the fact that like there's no more on the shelf because they're retired. And so there's still demand for them though. And so they increase in value. If you compare it to like the S&P 500, going back from the same time period that the Lego set was around, it almost always crushes the S&P 500. And if you know what you're doing as far as what you're picking, you're definitely going to crush the S&P. So it's fun for me, like to buy and sell the Lego. It's easy, like to flip them just because there's always this demand. And so that, you know, I enjoy it.
How do you like determine how much money you put towards a set or how many units you buy? And also, how are you storing these sets? Do you just have sets stacked up in your garage, or do you have like a storage unit you kind of toss them in, and every year you kind of go through, okay, yeah, it's time to sell this one, time to sell that one? How do you kind of manage the units? Because that's like obviously with the S&P 500, it's all online money. Yeah, right. I'm putting it in there, then it just grows hopefully 10% a year, right? With Legos, it's physical. You have to buy them, and then you have to hold them for a year, 2 years, 5 years, and then once you're ready to sell, you physically have to sell them, and you have to ship them and move them, all that stuff. Obviously, if you're getting a 50% return or 80% return in a year rather than 10%, it's well worth it, right? But how do you store your sets? I'm just curious about.
So right now they're literally just stacked up in my like dining room and living room. Nice. I don't have it a ton right now. I have a few hundred, which is a lot, but it's not anywhere near where I want to be. At some point, I'll either get a storage unit myself, or there are some like prep centers that will store for you, and then you just basically tell them when it's time to send them out, and they'll send them out. You know, they'll FBA them for you, just like like any prep center would. Obviously, there's storage fees involved. So in the time that I can afford to store in my house by myself here, I will obviously save that money. I haven't been doing the Lego for that long. I mean, it's been about a year or so. So I'm still ramping up and still learning like quantity limits that I want to go as far as how deep I want to go, learning the sales cycle of Lego or Target or Walmart and kind of figuring that out. And so, as far as how deep you go on something, it's just like if you found a CeraVe lotion that on sale, like how deep do you go on? It's the same, it's a similar process. You look through SellerAmp, you look through Keepa, see the cycles. If it's a set that Amazon had in stock, what does it do when the Amazon goes out of stock? Does the price spike? How does the volume look? There's the same type of process, as anything.
Right.
Actually, I was just looking, the Star Wars Republic fighter tank was doing well year round, like $60. I know it went on sale at Target at $24.99.
Yep.
Sellers hit $309 in mid-November, and we're already back up to that $60 price point, down to 114 sellers.
Yeah, that's
Just
that
like-
one that we stocked up on.
Yeah.
It was $39.99, and they dropped it, I think, to like $32.99 or something like that, and then dropped it even farther to $24. And so there was just a ton. I mean, I walked into a bunch of Targets, and they had dozens and dozens of them. So it wasn't scarce at all, but it was a Target exclusive. So you couldn't go to Walmart and get it. You weren't going to Meijer and getting it, or any of these other places. But people definitely stocked up, and it was one of those sets that people thought they could flip through Q4, and unfortunately probably didn't do much with it at that point, maybe 20-30%, which for flipping is fine. But like you said, it's already up to back to $60, down to what you said, 140. So
114.
114, even better. So that's one that hopefully, by Q4 this year, be down under 100 sellers, maybe 50, 60 sellers even. I'm sure there's a lot of people like me who haven't sold any of mine, and so we're going to jump back on and might raise the seller count again. But if you can buy it for 20,
Yep.
yeah, if you can buy it for 24 bucks,
set.
exactly. So maybe you'll even top 100, or 90 to 100 bucks.
Actually, quick question. You mentioned Target, and I know none of us are tax exempt on Target. I know you are on Amazon and Walmart, I think. But do you just send stuff straight to prep from Target rather than like paying tax on that? Because I would figure storage fees would actually end up being less over time on, say, a high value dollar set than paying tax on those.
For my Lego sets, I don't. For my Lego sets, I send them right to home.
Okay.
Or I just
So-
buy all and go to the store and buy them.
Say $100 set, you wouldn't eat the storage fees over.
Well, I mean,
tax
I've
on
I've been wanting to talk to the prep guys and see. It's also like trust isn't the right word, but like I don't necessarily trust having them sit there for a year.
that. Anything can happen. Yeah.
Right. So I'd rather, if it's $100 set, my tax would be $6 on it. How much are they going to charge you over a year? Maybe it's $3, $4, or $5. So maybe I'm saving a couple dollars. Maybe it's more. I don't know. I'd have to ask, but it's not.
Right.
It's not significantly different. And then I don't know what's happening to it. So, that's part of it. But
Makes sense.
I've been meaning to talk to them. But I know there are some prep centers that specialize in longer term storage.
Yeah.
They're climate controlled, different things like that you want to have for, if you're storing boxes for that long. And so at some point I'll look into it, but at this amount of sets, I don't need to yet.
Right. I know. I don't have any room in my apartment for stuff like that, so I would eat storage fees given the chance. I mean, just to have the peace of mind of I'm not cluttering up my tiny apartment with more stuff I don't need to have here.
Right.
But
You can also get like a small self-storage
right.
unit that's nearby, and then you can always check on it, obviously, as well.
Right. I know that's
That
one.
next step, that'll probably be the next step that I go to.
Saw a couple pictures on Twitter of people with their Rolo, their laptop, and just like a roll of tape, shipping stuff straight out of their storage unit in Q4. And I was like, man, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Two things on that. I know that the prep center that we use, the one that's affiliated with Jyles FBA, it's kind of smaller compared to some other prep centers, I guess. I guess storage wise, like they don't have like a ton of room for storage because like I know in Q4 like we had people on the wait list to, like
Right.
get in there just simply because they didn't have enough room to store packages for even like a day. So yeah, you said there are obviously other prep centers, other storage centers that more so do that long term type of hold. You pay X amount per month or per unit or whatever it is, and then depending on like the size and weight, it might even be worth to send it to prep, and then they just forward it to your house and you pay shipping. That way, if you save on tax there, if Michael was saying it's $100 set or whatever, and say it's like a small, like I don't know if Lego even has like any expensive sets that are super small, but if you can get 50 units in a big box and it's $45 for shipping and you paid $5,000 for 100 units, that might be worth to do that.
Right.
But like I said, I don't know it of any Lego sets off my head that are super small and are expensive.
No, it's usually by
retail-wise.
piece, more or less.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that makes sense.
I just did the math, like based on their storage fee, not like maybe if it was a long-term storage, they would negotiate the price. Obviously, it was like they don't probably have room anyway, but it would cost like $13 to store a set for a year there. So if the $100 set, I'm actually losing if I store it for a year. Obviously, so for 6 months it breaks even. So I don't know. It's interesting about at some point.
Maybe if we lived in California with 10% tax, it might be different. But I know we all have pretty low tax states, so it's nice.
All right.
And again,
that was
my kind of my comment was literally only in regards to Target, because Amazon, Walmart, literally every other retailer will accept tax exempt, which completely diminishes that issue.
gotta love Target. They obviously hate resellers.
Never had an account ban, knock on wood.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much they hate resellers, but like I've never had an issue with them. I feel like more so than not, it's usually when you go in store and try to stock up on tons of units, or if it's a fresh account
policy
or abuse return policy. That's with probably any retailer. If you're buying 500 units and you return 500 units, your account will probably get flagged.
Looking at your PD.
Yeah, I actually had 2 Target accounts that both got shut down or banned, whatever you want to call it, and then magically were both reinstated right around Q4. So I got lucky. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I gave him a Target lead, I can't buy it. And I would always forget. Then all of a sudden, hey, I can buy Target now. I was like
November 1st.
That doesn't happen. Right in time for Black Friday.
Right around November 1st. Yeah.
It's actually, so I bought, we've talked about lovers a few times, but I bought like over 600 lovers from Target all in the span of a week or two. And like I was missing 12 of them. I ordered, let's say 600, I was missing 12. And basically I just set up Target support and I got my refunds for all 12 of them fairly quickly. Like no hassle, no nothing. It's just like, refund will be reinstated into your account in 3 to 5 business days or 5 to 10 business days. I forget what it was, but it was pretty obviously everything that I was shorted on. Like for example, I got shorted on some Walmart video games, Target video games, Target lovers. They oversent some other products, which is obviously always good. But I know some people had some issues. Maybe say they ordered 100 units and they only got 70. The back and forth between getting their refund with the 30 units or not. All my refunds after Q4, I probably did this, I want to say mid-January, maybe late January. And all the products were ordered late November, early December maybe. And I got all my refunds, and I'm talking maybe close to $500 probably in refunds, maybe $750. So always a good tip to obviously keep track of how many units are coming in, or how many you order, how many are coming in, and make sure you're getting the refunds when they do short you, because whenever you are buying massive amount of units, there are going to be mistakes. So
I know our prep center is great about letting us know when stuff like that happens. I mean, I had a video game come from GameStop that didn't have a game in it, and that was actually, knock on wood, like my only shipping issue all of Q4.
Really?
But well, I mean, there little things here and there, but there was like one missing video game from Target, and that was actually regarding the Amazon shipment, so it wasn't even Target themselves. But like that one video, I don't think I would have noticed if there like wasn't something moving inside.
Right, yeah.
But I believe it was sealed. There was just no game. It was like manufacturing error. But
what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, just having like a good communication with your prep center is great. Times like that. But again, I can't really complain. Had almost no problems.
Yeah, that's great.
I had a bunch of issues with my GameStops. They were sending me, like everything was new, sold as new, but they were sending them, maybe they were new, but they were sending them in like a GameStop clamshell instead of, like they didn't say Super Mario Brothers on it. It was like their generic GameStop I don't know where they got them from. How are they still new? They're not sealed. They're not whatever. So obviously I can't sell one on Amazon.
All right.
And so we sent it back. They refunded me. I think they actually refunded me the full price and not the sales price. So it worked out. But just annoying, just a hassle.
I don't. Some of these retailers, their support's either like really good or really bad. Most of the times, really bad. Especially if we're talking about like Amazon seller support.
Right.
I mean, the worst support out there. But like, here's an issue that one of my friends ran into. He bought some Lego insects and he wanted to return them, and he only got 5 or 10, or 5 I think. And he was trying to get a return done through Walmart. He contacts Walmart. Yeah, we'll get your refund. All you have to do is take this label, put it on the box, take it to FedEx, drop it off. He takes it to FedEx. The label isn't scannable. It doesn't work. No like FedEx label found. So he calls Walmart again. Hey, the label you sent me wasn't scannable. What do I do? And they're like, okay, go in store and return them that way. So he goes to our local Walmart. He goes in. Walmart says, well, this is already saying that you already returned them. And he's like, why is it saying I already returned them? I didn't get a refund and they're legit right here in my hands. Like, how did I return them if they're in my hands? Well, sorry, this isn't our problem. Go back and contact support. Goes back, calls up Walmart again. Hey, took him in store. They said the refund was already sent. I don't have any refund on my end. Well, what do I do with these units I want to return? Well, let me send you this FedEx label, and then you can go drop it off at FedEx. And he's like on the phone. He's so mad. He's like, I already did this once. The FedEx label did not work. What, like, are you sure this is going to work? And the lady, of course, is from like overseas, how like most customer support, they outsource their customer support overseas. She's like, I promise you, sir, this time it's going to work. So he's like, okay. So he hangs up. He's like, this definitely isn't going to work. But anyways, he sticks it on there and it worked that time. But he went through like a week-long hassle of contacting Walmart via text and via phone, probably 5, 6, maybe 7 times, trying to get these 5 units returned. And it was just like a big, long hassle. It's weird. I don't know. Sometimes then
that's when I just sell for break even, slight loss at call it a day. Because like account health, I mean sales rep with Amazon, I would take that 10 out of 10 times over trying to deal with support like that on a month-to-month basis. It's ridiculous.
It was unreal. And then like sometimes my Walmart returns say I have to return 5 units. Like it's super simple. It's like, here you go. Or they'll be like, you don't even have to return it. Here's your refund. Okay,
yeah.
Whatever.
I know.
So,
I think I did return a little bit of stuff from Walmart. And I went on my return and the specific label said it was like 70 units. The specific label said like 60 units. And it was for all 70, granted. Like, I clicked all products in this order or whatever it may have been. So I was, like, really confused. And then once I go to my email and check the same label, it shows 70 units. So little mishaps like that, if you don't catch it, it can kind of screw you over at times. But, again, I won't complain. I've had almost no problems. I definitely... Actually, I've seen a few posts on Twitter about getting VAs to track your spending for the most part. Like if a small site canceled your order and you never got a refund, if you do that too many times, you're bleeding a lot of cash for a product you've never gotten. Again, I like sourcing. I don't really want a VA yet, but for little things like that, it might be time to invest in one.
That happens more than you think.
Yeah.
Especially when I started selling on Amazon, I would order off smaller like name brand websites, and say the order got canceled, or well, like most of the time I would order like 10 units and they'd cancel my order, and the charge would stick, and I would never get a refund for my order, and I'd be out $75 or $400. And at the time I would catch it, but like going down, if you're ordering, if you're spending $1,000 a day or $5,000 in a month, it's very easy to lose track of those small orders, and you can be out hundreds of dollars.
Right. I really enjoy the Amex app for that reason, because every credit will be right above the debit for that same order usually. I mean, a lot of times the cancellations come through, say, even a few days later, but then they'll post at the same exact spot, so you can see exactly where you got, charged and then credited back. But again, I'm spoiled with a Plum too, so who knows when I'll get another one.
Cashback wise, how are you doing cashback wise with or during Q4? How did you do? I know Rakuten, the payout's coming up on the 15th, right? And then Top Cash, you can obviously pull it out whenever your payable balance is ready to go. How did you do with it, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I did well, obviously. It's just a bonus, for everything. I've been using a lot, actually. Retail Me Not is another one. Okay. And I found that they are sometimes even higher.
Really?
A lot of times they're higher. And a lot of times, like you go to Rakuten and it's like 16% for something, but then like toys are 2%.
Right.
Or, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. And so Retail Me Not, it's usually, if it's like 8%, it's straight across the board to 8%. Like they don't usually have the exclusion. So I've been sort of spreading it out a little bit, but I'm not sure exactly what my Rakuten payout is coming out, but I'm sure it's going to be nice. And I know I got probably about $1,000 at Top Cashback still just sitting there. It's I refresh it every couple of days and just see what's coming through. I've had a few times where like the orders get canceled and you still get the cash back, which are always funny. Nice bonus. I've gotten like some big cash backs on stuff and I never even got the orders. I never, they never went through.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of funny about that. The Rainbow Road Hot Wheels, 20% on a $120 purchase. Got 10 units, a little under $1,200. Never posted. I contacted support and they said it would be credited on my account in like 2 days. I went and looked and they gave me my 20% for not 10 units, but 1 unit. So I got $22 whole in cash back. That's another thing I want a VA for. I mean, stuff like that, I don't want to deal with it, but it's a lot of money tied up in orders that, they're just, I don't want to say scamming because it's like basically free money, but could have a lot more free money if I actually had the time to run through all that stuff.
Yeah, dude. Looking back on that, on the Rainbow Roads, I got 25, and the order cost was $1,125. So I got $225 in cash back per $10 or 10 unit order. So what is that? 500, 613 in cash back on just under $3,000 spent.
And then Winnie the Pooh Legos too.
It's always
what, $560 cash back?
Yeah, and then Winnie the Pooh they were it was 10% cash back on or 11 or 12 actually. Let's see if I can find it. Or that was on Rakuten.
$560, yeah.
Yeah,
so I think it was like what, $6,000 order?
I think it was a $5,000 order. So I think it was 11 or 12% cash back, which is once again wild. Just like during Q4, because like you don't really get those numbers outside of Q4. I'm talking like 20% on toys at Target. Like a year round, Target's usually one, maybe 2% in some categories. But they randomly put 20% on toys for like a day or two, which was unreal. I wish I would have unloaded and got like 1,000 of the Rainbow Roads. But first off, like sometimes if you do multiple orders, they'll only credit one. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll only get credit for my first order, and it was max 10, I believe. So that's how I'm like, okay, I'll get credit for $250, but I'm like, I'm stoked about $250 back whenever these are reselling for 50% or 50% ROI. I mean, buy I have 112 or 115 or whatever it was, and I sold all mine for over $200. And I profited $35-$40 a unit, something crazy. So
Yeah,
You
I
got
was
both
pretty stoked
FBA,
about it.
all those?
I did, yeah.
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 I think inbound shipping was like $100 for 10,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
for something that big, $10 a unit. I mean, it's not bad.
No, it's not. No, I was pumped about it. Yeah, I got the order for the Winnie the Poohs was $4,950 for 99 units, and the cashback was $594. So and actually to get this cashback, I had to go back and contact Rakuten and be like, hey, I never got credited for this order, and next day it was there. So that's another good thing to keep track of. Always activate your cashback before ordering. If you're not credited for it, let's say a month later, every month, maybe first of every month, last of every month, go back through, contact Rakuten about all your missing cashback, and you can get, I don't know, hundreds of dollars back that you never got credited with in the first place, depending on how much you obviously spend and order. But yeah, that's another good tip for Rakuten Top Cash. What was the Retail Me Not?
Retail Me Not. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into that one. I
check it
actually
out.
I've never heard of it.
You're saying about sometimes if you play a second or third order, it doesn't take. So
Yeah.
this doesn't always work, but one of the things that I try to do, if it's not something you have to like check out really quickly, if you like, let's say you're using Rakuten, if you go activate Top Cash back, and then go back, and then it like deactivates Rakuten, and then go back and activate Rakuten for like your second order, and go back and forth, or close the window out, and like you kind of just gotta like reactivate a lot of times. But I've noticed that if it just stays active, it usually doesn't.
Go ahead, Mike.
One of my big downfalls when I started was not activating cashback because I'd be sourcing for Jyles FBA. I'd close all my extensions, everything, all my pop-ups. Then I'd go like find something I wanted to buy, and just completely forgot. So my first probably 9 months of cashback was very low, unless it was Stanley. I couldn't forget that.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I would always get on to Michael for not activating cashback, even if it was 1% on $100 order. I'm like, dude, you just missed out on $1. He's like, who cares? It's $1. I'm like, dude, it stacks up. Like, activate it every time. It takes 2 seconds. It costs you 2 seconds of your life, and you gain $1. Like, come on, dude. But yeah, now he's learned his lesson.
Yeah, it's not like I meant to pass it up. I was just naive.
But, like, even on that Winnie the Pooh order you talked about, this was like a early Black Friday sale that Walmart did, and retail was $99 or $100, and they cut it in half, so it was $50. Crash posted it. He's like, full send. So we got ready for that. Obviously, before the product page went live, I activated Top Cash, and then I activated Rakuten, just in case, just so I have one of them running for whenever I complete the order. Hopefully it picks up. So at checkout, I didn't have to go and hit Rakuten, hit Top Cash, and waste that 10 seconds of like the loading screen, I guess. But yeah, I mean, doing that pre-drop made me an extra $600.
And it let you add 99.
Yeah, I got 99 units.
Can't believe
just spamming, and then checking.
I stopped at
out.
20, and I thought that was too much.
Yeah, I mean, like, we called it out full send. I'm like, I'm not just gonna stop here. Like, and then I went back to try to get more, and they were out of stock. I'm like, okay,
They were gone in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was.
It was an under 2 minute out of stock.
I did that on mobile too, which I was kind of. Yeah, I don't know if
The app looks good for them.
Yeah, the app was smooth, dude. And I don't know if I had like Face ID for checkout or something, but it was a very quick checkout, which was awesome. Are you still doing cards? Because last time we talked, obviously, we've known each other through cards as well. Have you kind of put that on the back burner? Are you still buying cards to grade? Are you still doing WWE? That's something you mentioned last podcast. What's your point of view on the card market and the wax market too? Because I've seen some wax flips recently in the past like month or two that have been like crazy, like 50%, 100% ROI on like some wax, and we haven't seen that in a year or so. In my opinion, I mean, there's a select few, but I don't know. I feel like the card market's heating up, and I want to get your like perspective on it.
Yeah, for sure. Cards sort of took a back burner over the last couple months just because I was busy with Q4. I did a big show in Chicago in November, sold almost all my inventory, and I haven't really, and that was sort of like the bookend of cards for a little while for me. Not that I'm not involved, not that I don't know what's going on. I just haven't recouped yet. I actually have a show in March, another Chicago show, and so I need to get back up into buying. But I've noticed the same thing. I think the market is in a really healthy place right now. I think the Wemby hype is real, and people say about basketball. There's a lot of young stars in basketball too that people are excited about, but especially Wemby, like his Prism stuff was flipping. You know, just the blasters at Target and stuff were flipping. You saw people clearing out targets again, which hadn't seen in a while. And as far as football goes, like C.J. Stroud's a legit quarterback, and so that was bringing the football market up. Football's always hot, though, I feel like, but Mahomes and Purdy being in the Super Bowl, those guys are still two younger quarterbacks that people are chasing. And so just from seeing on Twitter and different other Discord groups that are card oriented, and knowing friends of mine that are deep in the card game, it seems like it's really, really healthy right now. I think we went through like a spot where everything was too inflated, and then it probably went too far like the other way. Everyone was too much selling, and now we're kind of back to a good spot. There's, like I said, a couple young prospects that are hyping it up, and just there's a lot of just good transactions. I'm excited to get back in. I need to buy some inventory. I need to spend some money, and so I literally have a table in Chicago in like a month away, and I have almost no inventory to sell. And so at this point, I'm just gonna be standing there talking to people as they walk by. But I'm sure I'll make it work. But I do still do a lot of the wrestling stuff. I just like the wrestling, and so I have my PC of wrestling stuff that when I go to a big show like that Chicago show, I'll put it out and hope to make a few big sales just to kind of keep things moving. But there's definitely a few cards that I still keep aside.
Yeah.
We going to Dallas this year?
I want to go back. I want to go to Dallas. And
I did too.
I know the past 2 years, Michael went last year with me. Is it May?
Fun.
I believe it's May.
There was just one like a week or two ago. There was or maybe
November. No, December.
Recently.
No, January. It was
January.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
But I like to go to the Dallas before the National, like a few months before the National. That's usually the best Dallas, even though Dallas is always normally really good for cards, if not like one of the best card shows. I think they do card shows every other month. But yeah, I don't know. I'd definitely be interested in going back to Dallas this year.
Are you guys going to go to the National this year?
Yeah, it's in Cleveland this year, so it's actually not that far of a drive.
All right, I might have to go then.
It's only from where my hometown. It's only 2.5 hours. From here where I live now, I kind of don't know how far away it is, but I'd say probably.
I think it's 3 hours for me, so probably 2.5 ish maybe for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely.
I mean, it's more west for us.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah, I'll be there for sure.
I'm hyped for that. Sweet. Yeah, I'm pumped for that. Oh yeah. What is kind of gonna? Oh wait, yeah. WWE. I have a buddy that, speaking of Dallas, he always sets up in Dallas, always goes to Dallas, and he had some WWE cards, and I believe he had the Rock rookie card. Does he have a rookie card?
Right. Yeah, there's a few different cards that are considered rookie, yeah.
What's like? I'm trying to think. I don't recall exactly what the card was. It was a PSA 10. I believe The Rock. If it wasn't The Rock, it was another big name of the WWE. And basically, like, this guy walks up to him at the end of the show. He's like, I think the sticker was like 4K on the card. It might not be The Rock rookie. It's some big WWE card that's a PSA 10. And the sticker is 4K. And he's like, do you have any room on it? And he's like, well, I mean, just make me an offer. And the guy's like, 3,800. And he's like, yeah, done.
Right.
And like, it was just like that easy and simple. It was 3,800 cash. And for WWE, I'm sitting there, I'm like, WWE, someone's paying 3,800 for it.
Yeah, there's some big cards.
I'm like, that's crazy.
No, you have a few golds, right?
Yeah, I got a Rock gold, gold Chrome Refractor, the PSA 10. There's only, I think, the top 4 now. The 2014 Chrome refractors, gold chrome refractors. Is the first year they did Topps Chrome WWE. So it's like a sought after set. I have about a dozen different guys in PSA 9s, or mostly 10s, couple 9s, like Shawn Michaels and The Rock and John Cena, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, like a lot of the bigger names, and Undertaker, Triple H. Like they're worth a few grand each. I mean, there's not a lot of sales, so when I say they're worth a few grand, like, you know, you don't really know until someone's willing to pay for them, and I'm not actually trying to sell them. And the other guys who have them, they're all pop, you know, 2, 3, or 4, and most of the guys who have them, that difference with the wrestling compared to like football or basketball, it's more collectors versus flippers. And so like these rare rock cards or Undertaker or John Cena, they're just held, like, you know, or even Hulk Hogan or whatever. If they're pop 5, like 4 of the 5 guys that have them, they're not selling them unless something happens that they need to.
Yeah, that's similar to what like Star Wars kind of is.
Right.
For instance, I bought a big collection. I believe it was like September, October of 22, and there's some Star Wars in there, and it was there's like some big Star Wars like actor names. Han Solo, I think.
Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford. It was Harrison Ford. That's what it was.
Okay.
And it was an out of 5 Harrison Ford auto, and I got this card for like $1,500. And I thought I was kind of taking like a shot in the dark on it, and I couldn't really sell it on social media at the time, so I decided to auction it on eBay, and this card went for $5,500. And I'm like, what?
Was it from the new Star Wars set?
This was like 2 years ago. I
was gonna say,
recall.
if it was released before we went to Dallas, I think that was 22 Topps Chrome, maybe. Some guy had like literally a whole table of straight Star Wars autos, and that collection had to be worth like more than a house. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Between I forget all the actresses and actors, but I know Harrison Ford was a big one. A lot of the like Sapphire as well. Tons of low numbered. The teals I think were 75s, purples 10. Yeah, but I think it was my favorite table at Dallas was the Star Wars, because I know like the value, comparatively speaking, to sports is tremendous.
Yeah, I remember you getting all excited over that, and
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really watched Star Wars, and I kind of want to find the picture of this card, just so I know what it is. It was so long ago, I forget, and I've churned through so many cards. I mean, you could show me 10 cards that I owned last year, and I'd be like, oh, I did? Like, I mean, that's how fast, like, I flipped through cards. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, though, Adam. I kind of took a back burner on cards during Q4. Getting back into it now. I've been partnering up with a few people, just like they source cards, and we go 50-50 on them, and then we grade them, and then we sell them together, which is good. It kind of takes out some time for me from the Discord scrolling or Twitter scrolling or Instagram scrolling and actually sourcing the cards, and more so I'm just fronting the money and then fronting the experience with grading and then helping sell the cards. But yeah, dude, the card market, especially between the numbers of like $100 and $500, it seems like it's like killing right now. Yeah. I know I'm having trouble selling any card over like $1,500. People want to buy them for 70%, and I mean, selling a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 card for 70%, it's just like stupid.
That's what I hear from friends of mine that do shows. They say everything under 500, they can't keep it in their showcase.
Exactly, dude. I sent an email to who is it? They do repacks. They're always at Dallas. They're at a lot of shows. They're at Dallas, Michael.
Yeah, I know. I went to.
I can't think of who it is. Anyways, I sent them an email of some of the smaller end stuff that I had from a PSA sub that got back. A lot of Wemby, like Prism stuff, PSA 9, PSA 10. Anything between $100 and $500 they took for 90% or 92%. It was something crazy like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know why I'm messing with these big cards whenever I can just buy bulk cards from 50 to 250 bucks, raw, grade them, and then double up, selling to these repackers for 90%. So that's more so what I'm going to focus towards card wise. Like I said, it's just kind of hard to spend my time negotiating back and forth, or first off finding the cards, and once finding clean cards, negotiating back and forth between prices, all that stuff on the day to day when I'm juggling a million things with Amazon and other side hustles. But cards are definitely still an avenue for good profit if you know what you're doing, and I'd say we definitely have the knowledge to make good profits in the card community, whether it's booming and it's up 1,000%, or whether a gold prism of the best player ever is $100. Like, there's still margins to be made.
Right.
Like,
For sure.
there will always be margins in my mind. So, but
I remember what that repack place was, but I know they were, again, a lot of business.
extremely fair. They're cashing out. I know they mostly do football, but they do all sports. Cashing out basically 90%, which is crazy. Hit Parade, that's who it was.
Yeah, I knew that's Steven Adams. That's Steven Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Always extremely fair.
Yeah.
Always very easy to work with. You give them a price, they name a price, and if you say 500, they say 475. Like most of the time, sure, yeah, like that works. I
Adams recently.
Yeah.
But Michael, you want to get into your little TikTok shop that you're starting up that you're gonna go with? Because I kind of want to get into it too. So if you can kind of give some insight, some knowledge, some numbers on just like that one post that
So,
what you're trying to do going forward, some goals, maybe 3 months, what you're gonna do, 6 months, a year, stuff like that.
yeah, let me get the screenshot. So I think I posted my first and only video early to mid-January, maybe the 15th or so. Done again, something I had selling on Amazon. Already had it. The commission rate was actually terrible. I mean, it was 10%, but I had it already. I didn't need to order anything or like get a sample, wait on shipping time. So I decided, okay, I was just gonna somehow make content out of what I had here and post a video on it. And like 20 minutes of my time figuring out how to do voiceovers on CapCut and post a 6-second video. It's gotten a little under 43,000 views, 1.6 thousand product clicks, and 37 sales. Now at 10% commission, I made $112 and 32 cents in the span of that, 3 weeks now, I guess. But again, it's been the only video I've posted. I haven't. There's no promoting. There's no nothing. I literally just go in, check my sales on a day-to-day basis, and I haven't touched it since. I really want to dive deeper with this because obviously TikTok is trying to compete with Amazon. We see a lot of the same products.
Mm-hmm.
Between if it's not like a drop shipper, if it's not a a private label seller in comparison would be like the TikTok shop sellers themselves, then a lot of name brand products like Sol de Janeiro, One Size, tons of beauty brands are also on TikTok at the same price they are retail on their own stores. So little stuff like that. For example, the video I posted was One Size setting spray. They were $32 a pop. They're $32 on their site, but people don't. People are just, again, it's that convenience. You find it, okay, impulse buy.
Have you checked out anything on TikTok Shop?
No, not yet.
Personally, it's a pretty smooth process. I bought a few things for my girlfriend, and I'm just swiping that night, and it's like, oh, bang, okay, yeah. and like they'll give
discount codes are wild too. Yeah,
like I got like a 40% off, and like I got like
Yeah.
a,
For your first
a
purchase.
piece of clothing for like $5 after shipping.
That's my
That's
my caption was use your new accounts get, I think it was 40% off up to $20, making these $18 a piece. Granted, a lot of people couldn't get the discount code to work, but they still bought it anyway. So I mean, little stuff like that, especially boosting engagement. I know a lot of people will make mistakes on purpose in their videos to boost engagement.
Mm-hmm.
I know, for example, big TikTokers act like complete D-bags on stream because that boosted engagement. Anything you can get to push the video to a bigger audience, if it's not, say, a specific niche, then it's like a money printer, basically. So from here on out, I just want to dive more into like the product marketplace, get some samples in, use the product, and post results. And that's supposedly the best way to generate sales because, people know it's working. Just like anything, post receipts and people know what you're doing is working. Or in your case, making other people money. But yeah, we'll see. I know. So one Twitter post, it was the guy's first month. He did $25K in commission. Another girl that I follow did, I think, $170K in commission. And again, in a span of 30 days. And the startup costs are just so low. I'm really excited to get some extra capital to funnel on Amazon with this. But again, might invest some more time into it. So we'll see.
I mean, from the outside looking in, I feel like if you only spent 20 minutes to make that video and you made over $100, I mean,
Right.
I feel like you should dedicate 2 hours a day to it and post the 3 to 4 videos a day. And if one pops up, like say that video you posted got 4 million views instead of 40,000, just think of how much more revenue you would have made.
Right.
And also the more volume the post, the more likely those will hopefully go viral. So yeah, I feel like it's definitely worth you investing more time into it. Because that's like crazy. Like that's like internet money. That's like
literally,
internet money.
I mean, I'm definitely dragging my feet, but I want to, consistency is key, just like anything else. So if I can get, say, 2 or 3 products a day, and I use those on a day-to-day basis, after a week, I'll start posting that. And if I get like a snowball effect going, that's what I want to do. But again, I'm really just dragging my feet. I've already got midterms coming up because I have short online classes, 8-week courses.
Yeah.
But again, once things settle down and I'm kind of got a little more free time, it's going to be a constant cycle of request sample, test sample, post results, stuff like that.
Right.
Really just, again, TikTok wants to compete with Amazon, which is fine for us because we're not Amazon, we're third-party sellers. And when do we really compete with Amazon on a listing?
Right.
Almost never. So,
and I feel like iron sharpens iron there. I mean,
right.
People aren't gonna abandon Amazon just to shop on TikTok, and people aren't gonna abandon TikTok shop just to shop on Amazon. Like it goes hand in hand. Whatever convenience is to them, they're gonna buy the products. Especially with how easy it is to check out on Amazon, how easy it is to check out on TikTok Shop. Like we won't lose anything from TikTok Shop. I mean, if anything, we'll gain. I feel like from that.
Right. The trade-off right now I'm seeing is TikTok Shop is like around a week shipping, all said and done, with slightly better prices, and Amazon obviously is 1 day, 2 day shipping with maybe 10 to 25% more in price. So it's a really well-balanced trade-off in my opinion, and I don't see either of them going anywhere anytime soon.
Right. And also, obviously, the more you post, the more you're going to learn through trial and error. So say you go a week and now your videos are popping off. Okay, what did I do? How can I change this? How can I mock the video that got 43,000 views? How can I you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like you just have to find the things that work and blast them. And that's funny that you talked about messing things up in the videos just so you get comments. And comments obviously induce more engagement, because TikTok's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah, these people are stopping at the video, they're watching the video, they're commenting on the video. Let's share it to more people, because their main goal is to keep people in the app, so they buy stuff off TikTok Shop so they can make that commission.
Exactly. Yeah.
I used to manage Fortnite players, so Crash, you're probably too old, but
That kid's
Yeah,
just playing.
I'd
My kids
manage
play Fortnite.
Fortnite. I would manage Fortnite TikToks. So I personally had a TikTok that grew to 160,000 followers just posting Fortnite clips, and I'd do the exact same thing back in the day. I would I'd title something and I would misspell an obvious word in the title, and every single comment would be correcting the misspelled word. I'm like, thank you. Like that's exactly
Yeah.
what I wanted. And the video would
Yeah.
get 2 million views.
That-
And back in the day, they didn't have like the commission where it's-
Creator program.
Yeah, the creator program. They brought in a creator program, kind of. My account was kind of weird because India banned TikTok. I believe it was India banned TikTok, and like 55% of my followers were from India. So 80,000 people got like deleted basically from my page, and my account basically just went to crap. But yeah, they didn't have like obviously TikTok Shop or the creator program as I was like growing those accounts. But I'm assuming obviously the algorithms have probably changed since 3-4 years ago. I forget how long, probably 4 years ago. But yeah, I mean, get
Yeah.
people to engage, especially in the first few seconds of that video. Because I know me personally, if I'm scrolling on TikTok, if it's not something that I like to hear or look at initially for the first second or two, it's an insta swipe one to the next, right?
You need a
And-
good hook. You need
Yeah,
that first second is like crucial. I know. I think speaking of like your views, the creator program, I believe that for every 1 million views now, TikTok is paying $1,000.
yeah.
I think that's the going rate. Again, I'm doing the affiliate marketing, which is kind of the other side. But I really I've never been like a content creator for the most part, so I figured this would be a better fit for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look on like people reposting clips of cars, and okay, they got 350K views across 3 different videos in the span of a day, and that's $1,000.
Yeah.
It's like
People that post like the movies,
Oh, not the
40
movie.
seconds of a movie.
yeah. I mean, it's super saturated.
Yeah.
If you're one of the accounts that was early and you're big already, then they are printing money,
Yeah.
just reposting cars clips.
I forget who it was. But it was someone like a famous influencer who was talking about. They watched like an entire movie on TikTok.
Oh yeah,
And,
I've gotten close to that at like 30 minutes at a time. It's terrible for me, but
And then how about the videos where it's like a GTA like clip and it's like a podcast clip above or something like
Yeah.
that, or it's like some
Yeah, those
satisfying
are
like
great.
knife cutting like a cake type thing,
Mhm.
and then there's
And-
like a podcast on top of that or something.
and you know about those because they have good engagement, because that's
Yep.
I mean that's obviously captured your attention if you know what it is. And like I know if you go and do that, or if you just like say repost a clip without the satisfying clip below it, you're gonna get like copyrighted, and then a hit to your account health, kind of like similar to Amazon. You can't
Right.
yeah, it's got to be original content, so people who do that, it's
Dude, there's like a month span where I would stop and watch every TikTok video that had like the lead ball that would roll down like stairs outside, and they
the
would
glass
hit,
jars.
they would hit the glass jars, and
Yeah.
in the jars would be like color water. And dude, there's like a month straight I just watch this because they were so satisfying. It was like the noises matched up perfectly, the glass ball. It was
I
so
never watched
sweet.
TikTok with sound, so I actually never watched those.
Really?
I
Watch
never knew what the
TikTok with
hype.
sound.
I mean, like not usually. No, I never knew what the hype was because most of the time I'm just scrolling with my headset on. I don't feel like taking it off just to watch TikTok. It's like whatever. And I was like, why do people like these videos? Until I saw the comments
the
saying the sound is like so
It's the
pure. I was like, okay,
Like I must be autistic or something because I love those videos.
well, I didn't say it.
Oh my gosh. No, but we kind of got off on the tangent about TikTok Shop. But I definitely want to kind of reach into that TikTok shop category and see what I can do with it. Because I mean, you give me the motivation. Just 20 minutes to post that video, and you made $112. Like, dude, people grind at like their small local
Work
brick and
an 8-hour day.
mortar stores and like don't make that much. Like, it's crazy how there's so many opportunities. I mean, just throughout this podcast, we talked about Lego investing, Amazon, cards, TikTok shop, and we could talk about a million other ways to make money. There's just so much opportunity out there in the world, especially with the technology that we have today. It's awesome. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought about doing a faceless TikTok, but again, like growing your personal brand is kind of vital nowadays. So there's almost no point in doing that. I figure I'll just literally, my girlfriend and I mean, she'll definitely boost engagement because she's an attractive female. So if we can run an account together and just literally post results on what works for us, then should be a great easy way to monetize because people love results.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like TikTok shop's just like a big opportunity that a lot of people should try. Even if it's, like you said, 20 minutes of your day for 5 days a week, and you can turn that into a few $100 a month profit. I mean, that can help with your house, your mortgage, your house, or your car bills, your electric, your gas, like whatever it is. Like, living expenses today are so expensive, and I'm 21, but like still, I see what inflation is doing today just through like gas prices, which is kind of dumb. Just because like you're obviously still gonna buy gas for your car, no matter if it's $10 or $2. But like obviously like inflation, like there's printing money, like the U.S. dollar isn't worth as much as it was back in the day. Not to get political, but yeah, I don't know. Any final words, fellas?
I don't think so. Nah.
All right. Well, I feel like that was a pretty productive podcast. I appreciate everyone listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out Jyles FBA, which should be in a link somewhere down below. And yeah, catch you guys 2 weeks from now. Peace.